Explosive Pro Wrestling will celebrate its 9th anniversary at the Vasto Club, Balcatta on November 27th. This is the countdown to Reawakening 9.
I was as skeptical as anyone when Jamie came back to EPW. He came back from a major back surgery. No one knew if he was ever going to be the same again. For him to come back and not just compete at the highest level, but become the EPW champion under whatever circumstances, however dubious the finish of that match might have been, Jamie became the EPW champion, and you don't just get there by accident. And I suppose that was a fantastic story. It was a real fairy tale finish.
He defied all the odds and made his way to be #1 contender for the EPW Championship. And when he managed to defeat Richter and finally raise the title, it was like a feel-good moment. All the fans just could not have been happier for him, and it was richly deserved. But as quick as he won that title, his attitude really changed, and we saw a completely different Jamie Jurah, one that was just content with keeping his title no matter what the cost.
What does it tell you that after 8 years of classic matches, that on Jamie Jurah's first title shot, he takes the gold home against EPW's giant Richter? It tells you that a man who wrestles classic match after 5-star match, after 6-star match, after I don't know how many stars there are in the cosmos, but that's how many great matches I've had. It tells you that this man is simply born to be a champion, and that he is born to tell you what's good for you. And that's to have Jamie Jurah continue as the EPW champion.
At Evolution, it was Jamie's first title defense. We were all looking forward to it. He was up against David Storm. It was guaranteed to be a great match before the bell even rang. But in that match, we saw Jamie go down a road we really didn't expect. It was quite a tactical matchup and showed the experience of both competitors. You had David Storm, who was going after the shoulder of Jamie Jurah, and Jamie in return was going after the leg of Storm. And both people just orchestrated it perfectly. In fact, that it went so well that the time limit ran out, and when the match was said and done, the crowd and even myself, we were just calling for 5 more minutes. We wanted a result. I mean, Evolution's always a big show. We wanted a winner that night, but it wasn't going to be, because Jamie Jurah would not give us the 5 minutes more that we, and I'm sure David Storm, wanted.
The actions of Jamie at Evolution really shouldn't have surprised me, considering how long I've known him. He is the kind of guy that looks for any advantage that he can get. He'll take the shortcuts if they're there, and it's my fault that I didn't see that coming. I should have known better. I've known Jamie long enough. I should have known better.
People throwing out a lot of accusations at me that I played dirty at Evolution, that I cheated to get the win, that I somehow didn't put everything into the match. But if you go back and watch my matches, I've always played dirty. I've always been very upfront about what I do. I break the rules. It's who I am. Anyone who has a problem with that, they can get in the ring and sort it out with me face to face. Now, I took David Storm, the Iron Man, as far as he could go, and he couldn't get the job done. You might as well call Jamie Jurah the Platinum Man, because I'm better than Iron. I'm better than Gold. That's why I'm Platinum. Platinum is like 2 better than Iron. Think about it. Not too hard, you might hurt yourself.
Regardless of the way Jamie acted during the match, I just thought that deep down he would want to know that, even armed with his bag of tricks, that he was better than David Storm on that night. And I don't think, walking out of that building, that he could hold his head high and say that he deserved to be champion after that match.
Now, after the shock of Evolution, we were looking towards Hell or High Water, where there was going to be a rematch between David Storm and Jamie Jurah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I didn't care that Jamie backed out of our match at Hell or High Water, because I did. Personally, it was an affront to me. I believe that I deserved another chance. Jamie didn't beat me at Evolution. It was a draw. Neither of us came out the winner, but I think he knows that deep down he would have tapped at the end of that match. I deserved the rematch. But Jamie didn't just rip me off. Jamie ripped off the EPW fans as well. They wanted to see the rematch, and I believe they deserved to see the rematch. I thought the first match was a fantastic match, and the second one, I think, would have been just as good. For Jamie to find a way just to back out of that match, to not give the fans the rematch that they've been promised, it just showed what a coward he is.
Alright, I didn't weasel out of any title matches. My contract clearly states I only have to wrestle the #1 contender. If David Storm was not the #1 contender at Hell or High Water, he has no business wrestling the champ. It's law. Look it up, people.
After all Jamie Jurah's manipulation of the board of directors, we came to telephone bash, where the board of directors decided that to avoid all of Jamie Jurah's politics, they were going to have a tournament, a one-night tournament, so we would have ourselves a #1 contender for Reawakening Night, and there was no way that Jamie could avoid it or dodge this bullet in any way, shape or form.
It hurt not getting that rematch at Hell or High Water, and I was disappointed, but I did what I always do. I put my nose to the grindstone, got back to work, and set about becoming the #1 contender.
By the end of the night, we saw Davis Storm in his 4th match of the evening, wrestling Jay Taylor in the final of the tournament. Both men trying to become #1 contender. But in the end, Storm got the victory and is now the #1 contender, who we will see wrestle Jamie Jurah for the EPW Championship at Reawakening Night, and there's nothing Jamie Jurah can do to dodge this.
Going through 4 matches in one night to become the #1 contender again was probably the toughest thing I've done since the Iron Man match. It was one of the most physically and mentally grueling experiences of my career, but I can tell you that all I had in mind was that one goal, that one focus, just to get my hands on Jamie Jurah and get another shot at the EPW Championship.
I don't have to prove anything else to the EPW fans or to Davis Storm, because at Road to Glory, I punted Davis Storm's head clear into orbit. You can all go back and watch the video and you can see just what's going to happen at Reawakening. Jamie Jurah standing over Davis Storm, holding his title high.
You know, I've made a lot of big promises leading up to Reawakening, and the fact is, on November 27th, I'm going to have to get in the ring and back them up. And for everything that's been said about Jamie, that he doesn't have the heart of a champion, that he doesn't have the will of a champion, the last time we were in the ring together, he pinned my shoulders to the mat 1, 2, 3.
So it's all going to come down to this: Reawakening, the biggest show of the year, explosive pro wrestling at its finest. We're going to see Jamie Jurah have to defend his Explosive Pro Wrestling Championship against Davis Storm. Now, one thing I will say is that when it comes to main eventing the biggest show of the year, Davis Storm's got way more experience than Jamie Jurah, so it's definitely going to work on Storm's behalf. But Jamie, not a dumb guy. He's very smart, and I bet you he's been planning all the kind of devious slide tricks he can. He's been waiting for this moment to execute the biggest ones of them all.
I can honestly say that every time I've wrestled on Reawakening, it's been one of the highlights of my life, one of the highlights of my wrestling career, and I can tell you that there's nothing like being in the main event of Reawakening. The nerves that you feel, the sickness, you're so nervous that you just feel sick to your stomach. And the only thing that kills those nerves is walking out through that curtain in front of all those screaming fans, feeling the excitement in the air, the excitement that can only be felt when you're in the main event of the biggest show in Australian wrestling.
I know what it takes to be the champ. It isn't this. It isn't a piece of leather and gold. It isn't the approval of the fans. It's talent. I've been working for 8 years to get to the top. I've been putting in performances above and beyond everyone else in Perth wrestling, in Australian wrestling. I am the best wrestler in this state and in this country. That belt doesn't prove it. Come along to the Vasto Club and you'll see why I'm the champ.
I hope you're prepared, Jamie, because I promise you, this will be the absolute fight of your life. On November 27th at the Vasto Club in Balcatta, Reawakening 9, the biggest show in EPW history, you're going to have to stand nose to nose, eye to eye, toe to toe with the Iron Man Davis Storm. And let me tell you, Jamie, I am going to test your will until it breaks.
I hope Davis Storm gets in the best shape of his career. I hope he does all the weights he can, all the cardio he can. I hope he puts in 1,000,000 hours in the gym getting ready for this match, because I have, and I'm ready. And EPW fans can see it's only going to take one kick, one submission hold, one pinfall before Jamie Jurah walks out, still the champ.
I'm not going to lie to you, Jamie, and tell you something ridiculous like I'm going to rip your head off and spit down your throat. I'm going to tell you how it's going to be. At Reawakening, I'm going to hurt you. For the disrespect you've shown the EPW Board of Directors, for the disrespect you've shown the EPW fans, and most importantly, for the disrespect you've shown the EPW title, I am going to whip you from pillar to post. And if you can't learn some respect, Jamie, then I'm just going to beat it into you.